Hello friends, this is Coldrun. Welcome back to a blind playthrough of Final Fantasy XIV's Dawntrail expansion, where we're starting the MSQ for patch, whatever this is, 7.3 I think. Shale. Targeted Tragedy. Shale wishes for a moment of your time. If you have a moment, Kakushu, Geode wants to take stock of the current crisis. Oblivion may be lacking the finer details in certain areas, so we'd like you to lend your perspective to the conversation. Sorry to drag you into our meeting, but we need to get a better handle on the threats Alexandria is facing right now. Not at all. Much has happened since the state funeral, and a clearer idea of where things stand would be beneficial for us as well. Yeah, nice little catch-up. Alright, first things first, let's discuss the state of the machine malfunctions. By the way, if my voice sounds a little bit different today, I have a large canker sore on the bottom of my tongue, which makes it hard to talk in some ways. Every single sector reported instances of sentries attacking citizens without provocation, and vehicles suddenly becoming unresponsive to controls. Right, we got full-on, whatever that Stephen King movie was, the awful one. Maximum overdrive. And while these machines' malfunctions were resolved fairly quickly, they nevertheless resulted in a considerable number of injuries and death. Wook. Ah, Wook. But you haven't heard anything about the new incident since then, right? Right, no additional reports have been logged as far as I know. That's the good news. Golulja. The bad news is I tried to take control of the soldiers when they started hurting people, but they wouldn't listen to me, even though I have the king's authority. Once things calmed down, I was finally able to make them give up their weapons, but if it happens again, I don't know if they'll ignore me like before. The King of Resolve's authority is about the highest there is. Who is this man that can override it with such impunity? Sveen, Calyx. He lived in the age of the Storm Surge as I did. I was about to say science kid, but he's definitely not a kid. Lest you forget, he was known for his advancements in electrope technology, and it was he who established preservation for the purpose of furthering his research. The wasting disease afflicted him, however, was said to leave him scant years left to live. He must have chosen to undergo conversion into an endless, that he might continue his efforts into the present day. Preservation's early goals seem noble enough. Exploring treatments for Levin sickness, designing Everkeep's core systems, that sort of thing. Why harm the people he was ostensibly trying to help? Longer-term help, maybe? I do not pretend to understand Calyx's full motivations. Only that he appeared incensed by what he saw as mankind's failings. He asserted that the strategy of adapting our species through generational succession was outdated. That evolution now requires us to forsake bodies of flesh in favor of eternal preservation. And this is all going to probably lead back to, like, where we go from here. Like, is he looking on a bigger scale? Are we going to, like, start traveling to other worlds more regularly and widely? We've already seen how he has employed the simulant to convince Alexandrians that endless conversion is their only hope for survival. Eternal life is assured for the 5,000 who register their neo-regulators. But this is merely one part of Calyx's greater plan. He wants the key to interdimensional fusion. With that relic in his possession, he will draw ether from the reflections and expand his efforts to create endless 1,000-fold. It seems relatively well-intentioned. I mean, like, we want to stop him, but, like, it doesn't seem like he's like, I will trick them, and he is trying to trick them, though, so it does seem like a tricking them for their own good kind of thing in his mind, though. If we mean to foil Calyx's schemes, then our only option is to determine where he's hiding and put him down. Which, unfortunately, is easier said than done. I've been scouring the terminal we found in the depths of Everkeep, but I've failed to uncover even the slightest trace of his activities. Give me a little more time, though, and I'm sure I can sniff him out. I'll help you. Thanks, kiddo. King Kiddo. While Galulja and Shale are working on that, I'm gonna take a look around town. I want to make sure no new problems have cropped up. Okay, and look for Calyx. You're welcome to come along. Another malfunction could happen at any time, and I'd be glad to have some brawlers at my back. Count me in. Raha and the others are helping Oblivion patrol in the other levels of the keep, so shall we stick to the streets of Solution 9? Sounds like a plan. Thanks, you two. Appreciate the company. I have to speak with the city's administrators about bringing in the Landsguard. I want our soldiers around to protect those who are moving to Tuliolal. Alphino and Alizé will be joining me for the meeting, so the three of us can cover that sector as soon as we're done. If I may, I'd like to join Kukushu's group if you'll have me. You are always welcome, Sphene. Sphene is a great focus. I really liked her in the last patch. This Sphene. The more mouths to ask questions, the merrier, as long as you're aware of the dangers. Thanks, I'll do my best not to be a burden. I'm more worried about you, Geode. Don't do anything stupid. Think you'll change your tune once we get back with the goods on Calyx. Then drinks are on you. Shale and Geode. Come on, let's continue this outside. Sorry, I was off in my own little world. Should we get started? Yeah, everyone's a little bit on edge. They do, and I can't say as I blame them. It was the Queen's fondest wish that her subjects remain shielded from the horrors of death, and so they were for the longest time. Then, the moment mortality once again became an unavoidable fact of life, they're greeted with an outbreak of bloody violence. It's all relatively new to them. Many are bound to give the endless alternative serious consideration. Indeed, and I do not blame them for that. It is only natural that such thoughts should come to mind. What I cannot forgive is the way Calyx wields fear and misery to manipulate people into making that choice. No one, not Calyx nor anyone else, should dictate how we cope with the specter of death. They shouldn't dictate it. It's okay to have influence and share thoughts, but yeah, this is overstepping the lines. As one who lived as an Alexandrian, I wish to put the choices for this country's future back into the hands of its citizens. And you think we can handle that responsibility after everything you've seen of us? It is what I have seen that has convinced me you can. I awoke 4 centuries later to find our people living and laughing beneath Alexandria's banner. Though surprised and bewildered, I was overjoyed to see it so. You all deserve to be happy. Well then. A little bit of Geode blushies. We'd best not let you down. Alright, let's move as a group. Let's go. Oh, and yeah, Sphene's got, is Sphene in, like, Arcanist mode? Or, like, you know, Arcane Geomancer, not Arcane Geomancer, like, that whole, like, Arcanima thing, from the Variant Dungeon and from the Arcanist quest. Is that the grimoire you received from the old castle? Yes, my parents gifted it to me when I was a child. They were adamant that I should learn to protect the things important to me. I was fortunate enough to have a tutor in the arcane arts, yep. So I lay claim to some small measure of skill. Wonder if you'll bring out a carbuncle. If that's the case, it might be better if we split into 2 groups after all. Heck yeah. Alright, Kukushu and I will be together, and then it looks like Sphene is going with Kryl. We'll end our patrol in the plaza just past True View and await you there. Yeah, let's see what we can find. Escort. Remain by their side. Speak with them. Is that... Wait, your next requires escorting. This has got to be new, right? Like, not the escort as a thing, but like... This is... Maybe this is a way for them to cut down on all of the, like, overwhelming amount of, like, every time you get it, they give you a tutorial. Now they just are telling you that, you know, that's what the question mark means. Somber citizen. Are the sentries and air wheelers safe to be around now? I just know it's going to happen again, and maybe next time I'll be the one who dies in a horrible accident. I need a neo-regulator. Becoming endless is the only way. Even Queen's Fiend said so. Yeah, she's persuasive, especially given the circumstances. Discuss True View. Ah, the memories. I used to drink around here all the time. I made sure not to overdo it when I had work the next day, but once we were past the busy season, or when the ladies weren't amenable to my company, you'd have to scrape me off the street outside in the morning or afternoon. The worst I ever got was on what should have been the worst day of my life. If only I could remember it. I was still wearing a regulator back then. Also, the first day I met Shale, although I guarantee she's forgotten it completely. Happy we get to see more a little bit of their relationship there. Light-hearted citizen. What gets me in such a fine mood, you ask? I just registered my new neo-regulator. Yep, figured. I was leery of becoming nothing but memories at first, but now that I've gone through with the registration, I've never felt more at ease. And once it was done, the regulator displayed the current numbers. Of the 5,000 slots available, over 3,800 have already been filled. You're still hesitant? Not much time to make up your mind. Mark my words, friend. When there's only a few slots left, it's going to get very ugly. That is probably right. When the pressure comes on, people, I think, are going to choose overwhelmingly to do it. Unless, you know, we intervene. Grieving citizen. You want to hear my story? Well, I appreciate you offering a sympathetic ear. There's not much to tell. A friend of mine died in one of those machines. His air wheeler dropped right out of the sky and he didn't survive the crash. Wasn't wearing a regulator, and I know that's not so strange, but he'd never bothered with one. He was at peace with the idea of dying someday, and I thought I understood what that meant. Until it happened. Maybe he was still at peace. I mean, just because he was at peace with the idea of dying and he died doesn't mean that he wasn't still at peace with it. He didn't think he was going to be immortal. Geode. I feel like there was a new factor in these stories we've heard. One we hadn't considered. That a victim of the violence wasn't... That's right. A victim of the violence wasn't wearing a regulator. Yeah, the vast majority of residents have always worn regulators, so it's not a detail we normally think about. With the supply of souls cut off, though, more and more people have been going without them. We need to look into the casualties from the recent attack and check whether or not they were equipped with regulators. Yeah, so it sure seems likely that this was an attack orchestrated to kill people without regulators, because if half the people who died had regulators, it would minimize the impact of the tragedy and the fear that would drive people to get them. Geode, what do you got about the hover cargo? It was once my job to deliver goods by hover cargo. I know a fair number of names and faces throughout the city. The little ones who jumped for joy when I brought them packages, the old lady who'd always greet me with a smile. I'd hate for anything bad to happen to them. Yeah, kind of a mailman Geode. Mail deliverer, mail supplier Geode. And I do like seeing the sugar riots work on the walls now that I know to look for it. Unarmed sentry. Citywide casualty data unavailable. Government officials are currently processing reports from all affected zones. Gotta have more than this. Right. 87 individuals injured, 19 casualties. Casualties equipped with regulators, 0. Not looking great for the "it's just a coincidence" crowd. If that crowd exists. Unsettled sanitation worker. I was assigned to clearing away debris. I didn't see any of the deceased. No bodies were present by the time I arrived, so I assume the ushers had already done their work. I remember there being patches of white dust scattered about that were quite a chore to clean up. I don't know what the white dust would mean. Alright, well, we'll meet up with the others. So essentially, you're saying that the people who were killed by malfunctioning machines weren't wearing regulators? Well, the numbers are still tentative and only apply to that one zone. We don't know how they'll stack up against the overall data, but this is definitely more than a coincidence. Safe to say anyone who had removed their regulator was a priority target. Now that you mention it, the one person I was treating for injuries was not wearing one either. But why? Why are they being targeted over everyone else? I think we know. I mean, that's my... I guess I'm just guessing, though. There could be other stuff going on. Based solely on the lack of a neo-regulator, we can't judge if a person has no desire to become endless or they simply failed to acquire one. But those who wear no regulator at all clearly rejected the old system of using souls to revive themselves. So I might be wrong. I thought it was to drive fear, but it might not be. Put another way, they've chosen to live their lives in the knowledge that death is an inevitability. So you want to... So it's sort of to increase the amount of fear in the city by removing the people who are least afraid, I guess. Yeah. And so Calyx has chosen those least likely to accept his vision as victims to stoke fear and... It's both. It's both. There was no need to kill anyone. People were already fearful enough. You could have found 5,000 willing citizens without all this madness. Yeah, it does seem to point to some kind of ulterior motive when you put it like that. What of the dust found at various sites? I don't know what that's about. Piles of white dust. Do you recall when we went to save Erenville from the sentries in the outskirts? That Usher Malachite told us much the same thing. I had forgotten entirely about that. When I arrived, I found no body, only a pile of dust which the wind quickly scattered. None knew what had become of it. That both stories speak of missing remains is suspicious enough, but the shared mention of dust is too much to ignore. Yeah, we gotta figure out, we gotta follow the dust trail, basically. Follow the old dusty trail to see what's up. Oh. Kakushu, we need your help. I've lost control of the soldiers again in the residential area. Alright, yeah, so we're gonna go see if we could fight off the robot uprising. I joked about maximum overdrive in a robot uprising. That's not true, because in both those cases, the robots were, or trucks, ridiculous. The robots or the trucks were conscious, were sentient. I don't think that's the case here at all. So some of the robots are being protective, or... Nope, never mind. What is this? The way it's moving is so jittery and jerk. Oh, I love this. Oh, that's creepy as hell.
Stay back! Stay away from me!
Leave him alone.
Yeah, it's like a zombie attack at this point. Certainly being filmed that way. Maybe not a zombie attack. Maybe like just, I don't know. I wonder.
Are you all right?
No regulator on this guy. Shocking.
What happened here?
A sentry walked into my apartment, even though I'd locked the door and everything. I managed to run, but the man who tried to save me...
No weapons, which is to be expected, considering all the sentries were meant to be disarmed. Yet it was ordered to attack all the same, even if that meant using its bare hands.
Sure, plenty strong.
I'll leave matters here to you. I'm going to do a sweep of the surrounding area.
And yet, it still limited the damage it could do. A comment on arms control, on gun control? Probably not, but I don't think that's... I'm glad, even though it attacked and tried to do damage, I think it's better that it didn't have a gun at the time.
Do you know anyone else in this sector who no longer wears a regulator?
Oh, I don't think I've seen Isadora and her boy with theirs recently.
Go to them, quickly! Wayakwe!
I'll be fine. But Isadora's in bad shape. Mother, please.
Isadora!
Well, crap. It's people we know. That's right. Arcanists get physic, right? Physic is their cure.
Thank goodness. She wasn't struck anywhere vital.
You haven't gotten res yet.
I'm sorry. If only I'd gotten here sooner.
Everything will be all right. I promise to make your mother better.
That's right. He doesn't know about her yet. I almost forgot.
Thank you, miss.
I don't know if he understood that she's Sphene and he's just hiding. He's not revealing her what she clearly wants to be kept secret, or if he just is associating a good memory, like, oh, she's doing the same thing that my beloved Sphene, that, you know, Sphene used to do.
Will she sleep like that forever?
No, not forever. She'll wake soon. I'm sure of it.
Mini role reversal here for the kid and the mom. Very many.
That's good to hear. Thank you for saving her.
The Promise of Tomorrow. Got to be the patch name. Quite a little prologue. Or opening. It's not really a prologue. Oyakwe. Forgive me, I was reckless. You shouldn't have had to waste time tending to my wounds as well. Did you see our other comrades back there? He stayed behind in the lobby, but I heard the sounds of fighting. I'm sorry, he must have fallen protecting the residents. Night World piece. For some reason, it didn't click to me that this is now Night World. Ancient currency, whatever design its face may have once borne, is now lost entirely to time. Interesting, though. That said, give me alpaca pasta. Bop, 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 bop. The endless choice. Our comrade, you think he may have been struck down? If he's wounded or worse, I should go to him. He was pretty well struck. Yeah, we'll go look out for him. We'll go check on if we can do anything. Isidore's going to be all right then? I'm so glad. I just finished my ministrations here. Our Oblivion comrade was beyond saving, I'm afraid. That brave soul, he gave his life to save another. He died protecting me. I don't understand why any of this is happening. We'll get down to it. Calyx commanded them to commit murder. And pretty intentionally, not just to go haywire, but to attack specific people. Hopeful Oblivion member. Is it over? We came as soon as Wayakwe sent word. It's certainly over for some. I am sorry. By the time we arrived, it was already too late. Then Geode could be in trouble too. Once we have this radius locked down, we need to find him. But why has something happened? What do you mean? He stopped responding to our communications. I was gonna say, like, what do you mean? Could something have happened? Like, the robots are attacking. We need to prioritize the residential sector, at least until we regain control over the sentries. Then we should search for Geode. I agree. Since most Oblivion members have sworn off regulators, if our theory holds true, they could be the prime targets for the next attack. Plus, we're like active antagonists, actively hostile to Calyx. Like, we know about it, and I think he knows we know. Please do what you can to shepherd the residents to safety, but avoid the sentries at all costs. So we got new little walkie-talkies. We've made modifications to them to prevent Calyx from intercepting the signal, and have been using them to coordinate movements with allies in the vicinity. Wayakwe has one too, so I'll ask her to keep hailing Geode. Good luck and stay safe. Oh, no. I like the thrumming music in this area. It's just a synthesizer, right? Like that's the sound I'm hearing. The that sort of pulse. No sign of Geode, but Wayakwe's voice crackles forth from the communicator. Geode, answer me. No response.
This is the only place left. Let them be safe.
Geode, are you there? Answer me, please!
I'm here. Sorry for the long silence. I've been busy.
Oh, you're alive! Thank the gods! Where are you now?
The radius next door. The lobby is secure. I'll scout the second floor. Then I'll join...
It's yoinking them? The sentry is like yoinking them. I guess all that's left is dust then. Okay. This is
what are
like
you talking
Undertale
about?
dust
What's
that we're
happening?
seeing.
They're not just collecting souls. They're draining the bodies of corporeal ether. The dust that we saw was all that was left of the victims. They must have modified the soul cells.
I sincerely wonder if this was influenced by Undertale at all. At least the idea of like the horror of like being of dust covering your hands, and that's just all that remains of a person. I guess that's what happens when a person's incinerated, though, too. So.
Shit.
I love their jittery movements.
Damn you.
Nice shot. I mean, not enough, but still, nice shot. Nice
You can't
toss.
be here. You need to run now.
Well, crap.
A trap.
Old Geode is in a spot of trouble. And seems likely to die.
Take care of the others, eh?
Okay. Ah, damn it. Okay. Very zombie. Very zombie-like.
No sign of him so far. This way, maybe?
Turn left until you hit the farm upstate. That's where he's living right now.
Geode!
So all of them, I guess one of them is the control one, because there's only one that's not jittery and staticky like this, or not malfunctioning, but
A shame. I had hoped to leave here with at least one more cell's worth of ether.
this is just straight up directly controlled by Calyx.
But seeing how eager you are to interfere, I shall cut this foray short.
Calyx. What could you possibly stand to gain from these atrocities?
Look at
Ether
discordant
sufficient to generate 5,000
bang.
endless. How would you acquire it?
How would I?
You wouldn't.
Until I have the key, the reflections are closed to me. Thus do I make do with the sources at hand. 7% of Alexandria's current population will yield the energy to convert 5,000 into endless. With 11%, operations could continue unabated for 800 years. Our bodies are fated to decay sooner or later. These ones refuse the gift of eternal life, so what difference does it make if I return them to ether now?
Yeah, so in his view, they're going to die sooner or later, and in the long span, in the long term, there's not a huge difference between sooner or later. Like, it's basically like today or tomorrow for them, and the benefit. I get what he's doing, and I get his calculation behind it. Walking, oh, the disrespect, the raw disrespect of walking through the corpse dust. Yeah, just total devaluation of their lives.
I will not waste time and resources on meaningless conflict. This unit cannot offer you worthwhile resistance.
Freeman would never.
Instead, I pose a question. Would you hand over the key if I promised to halt my harvest?
No, because you're not going to halt your harvest. You're going to expand your harvest. Yeah, you would only seek other victims.
It was foolish of me to even ask.
Yeah, it was foolish to even ask. We both know the answer. And I don't think you're deluding yourself that, like, you wouldn't seek other victims.
I return to my work then. There is much to do if I must take the key by force.
At least we got some of the ether to study or whatever. This pile of dust, these ashes, and the soul cell he left behind, was that his twisted way of returning Geode to us? Maybe. Damn you, Calyx. Damn you and your careless cruelty. He was our friend. Even so, some might say every death was justified if it meant 5,000 Endless could continue their immortal lives. Yeah, we disagree with them, but like, again, I get where he's coming from. And if a reflection stolen ether allowed for many more Endless, why, that too would be a noble sacrifice for the greater good. Who could think that? I mean, again, from a utilitarian perspective that devalues the lives of people not among the Endless, I get it. It's morally wrong and awful. It's not incomprehensible. Certainly not I. We know only too well there is naught noble in this sacrifice. It's not a sacrifice, I guess it's not a self-sacrifice. It's definitely him sacrificing others. It's a doctor who kills a living, healthy person and uses their organs to save 5 people. This is one big trolley problem. We have to stop him. We have to find Calyx and put an end to this madness as soon as possible. And under no circumstances can we let the key fall into his possession, Kakushu. The key's 100% falling into his possession, isn't it? We will thwart his plans here in Alexandria before he can terrorize innocents and reflections elsewhere. Bop, 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 bop. My memory isn't yours. Though gripped by sadness, Fiend spurs herself into action. We should return to the back room. Shale and the others need to know what happened. Yes, I'll ask Wayakwe to meet us there as well. See you back there. Yeah. How do you bury a can of ether? I guess the same way you bury anything else.
Our dear Geode.
Or soul cell.
The soldiers. If only I'd been able to control them.
This isn't your fault, Gololja. The blame lies with Calyx, and with him alone. It's all so senseless. Why force his plans upon us when we're already happy? Living our lives. What does he even think life is?
He doesn't think you're happy. He doesn't think that...
I'll never forgive Calyx for doing this.
He thinks if you say you're happy that you're incorrect, that you're looking at it from too short-term a point of view.
Or myself for being powerless to stop him.
Like, he would see it like a child locking themselves in their room, eating candy and playing video games and saying they're happy. And he sees himself as the parent trying to stop them and get them to... No, you actually have to study. You have to, you know, eat your vegetables. Eating your vegetables in this case being, you know...
Wait, where are you going?
Dying. So that others can take the regulators and the race can live. The analogy isn't as good as I was hoping it would be at first.
To clear my head. Don't worry. I won't do anything stupid.
I like her voice actor. I might have said that before, but I don't remember.
Stay here and get some rest. I'll make sure Nostalgia stays out of trouble.
Thank you.
Things would have been far worse if you and Geode hadn't rushed in there. Many people are still alive because of you. And after adding what you discovered to the leads we've dug up, I'm hopeful we can determine where Calyx is hiding. But not right now. We need time before we can move on. Just a little time.
Oh, Geode.
Makes sense that Geode now returns to the Earth. Another comrade gone. Some days it's almost more than I can bear. Geode was an older brother to Nostalgia and me. JL knew him longer though, and is surely taking it the hardest. And that's on top of what happened with Kafkiwa. Do you think you could check on her? Yeah, absolutely. Since she's, you know, here. Apologies, my mind was elsewhere. We need to press on with the hunt for Calyx, but I can't seem to focus. I should be better than this, I know. Anything I can do, or... Yeah, you need time to work for... Anything I can do. You can't help yourself, can you? Still, I appreciate the concern. Kafkiwa used to say the best thing to do with grief was to let it all out. So I think I'll take myself to Earth and Sky and say my goodbyes to Geode. Why don't you come along? I could use someone to blubber to if you've a shoulder to spare. I do. You'll have to bend down pretty far, but you know I'm here if you need me. Right then, let's get out of Everkeep for a bit. I like that they just poured us out to where we need to go for the next part. I appreciate that. It's a fair trek on foot, so I've arranged for a couple of air wheelers. They've had their communications modules removed, so even Calyx shouldn't be able to seize control of them. Say the word and we'll set off. The word. Oh, I'm not controlling this. These air wheelers are Geralt's babies. You won't find a smoother ride in all of Everkeep. Yeah, they look pretty fun. I mean, it's like riding a drone. For years now, I've been taking one out for a turn whenever I needed to lighten my mood. I don't know if the speech bubbles in the top still appear if I do. No, they don't. Sometimes Geode would come along too and we'd end up racing. That sounds terrifying. Does that surprise you? Our friendship always had a competitive edge. No, that part does not surprise me. We would often talk about how one day we might fly our wheelers outside the dome. Whew, helped clear my head a touch. You know, Kakushu, you might be the first person I've ridden with who wasn't an Oblivion recruit. As far as I remember, at least. The memories from my regulator days aren't exactly reliable. Come on, let's head inside. Poured a cup in memory. I like it.
Whenever we lost a comrade, the three of us would come back here to reminisce. Me, Geode, and Kafkiwa. Will you raise a glass?
That's really interesting. I wonder if they do this just to make... Because there are some people that just wouldn't want to drink alcohol. Yeah. To Geode's memory.
Oh. What are the two of you doing here?
I had a feeling you'd show up. Would you like to join us?
I suppose I could spare a moment.
It's a little passing the time.
Oblivion's founders disappeared some decades ago under mysterious circumstances. And it was Kafkiwa who revived our organization. You and Geode helped her with that, didn't you? Tell us more about it. You're keen to know too, right? What they were like back then. The mad things they got up to. That sort of thing.
Sure. It's not like top of mind, but I'm interested.
Those were the days. It was actually right before the Reformation that I met Geode. I still wore a regulator then. I'd recently lost someone close to me. I'd also quit a long stint as an adapter to work at a bar of all places. It paid me to sit with patrons and keep them company.
Really? Interesting position.
So Geode came in one night. It wasn't long before we got into an argument. First-time customer, but tempers flared. And then one of us threw a punch.
You got into a fist fight? What were you even arguing about?
I wonder if she remembers.
Damned if I know.
Yeah.
We were deep in our cups. I think we were both just frustrated and angry at everything. By the end of it, we were both sprawled out in the street. Pair of drunken fools.
A little referee there.
Then this odd machine stopped to lecture us, scolding us for obstructing the foot traffic and not taking better care of ourselves.
I can't imagine you ever being in such a sorry state. The odd machine, that was Kafkiwa,
I assume.
take it?
That it was. Once she was done upbraiding us for our unseemly behavior, she launched into a recruitment pitch.
Sorry for the itchy eye.
Kafkiwa explained that she wanted to protect the outside world from Zoralja's invasion, to keep him from bringing ruin to the place her beloved son lived. And if we were so intent on self-destruction, then perhaps we might consider risking our hides for a just cause. It was a lot to take in. I hadn't given much thought to what lay beyond the barrier, and learning that Kafkiwa herself was already dead was enough to make my head spin. But Geode and I were intrigued by her ideas, and wanted to see this future of hers come to pass.
Geode often spoke of it. He told me that meeting Kafkiwa was what first taught him the value of remembering people.
Like he was sharing a holy revelation.
Oh, but back then you hadn't yet taken on Oblivion's name, had you?
Is that so? I just assumed.
It hadn't been Kafkiwa's intention to carry on Oblivion's legacy,
Really?
nor adopt the cause your parents championed. Not initially. She wasn't even aware such an organized resistance existed. She did, however, suspect the presence of other dissidents, those who objected to resurrecting the memories of the dead in defiance of the natural order. In the hopes of identifying like-minded comrades, we began searching the core system for traces of unauthorized access. And that's how we found it. An anomalous sector in the back of the Neon Stein. According to Melancholy, the door to that mystery had remained firmly shut since she took over the business.
The back room.
The back room. We forced our way in, only to discover that the hideout had long been abandoned.
Oh, cool discovery.
Although the occupants were gone, the equipment they'd left behind contained records of a group calling itself Oblivion. After reading through their exploits and their vision for the future, we made the decision to carry on their work.
Thus were my parents' and Kafkiwa's hopes bound together.
And carried onward by Shale and Geode.
We could never have made it this far on our own, of course. Not without the strength of arms you and your friends provided.
Kafkiwa couldn't have made it far without you. You couldn't have made it far without us. It's all a big,
Losing comrades
all a
is
big network.
hard
No one's doing
thing,
this alone.
But being here, thinking back on the moments we shared, I could see their smiles, hear their laughter. I feel their presence, and I know they're still with us. But these memories of mine are for me alone. Reminders of why I chose to do this, and why I'll stay the course. Right. Time we got back to work. Thank you, everyone.
No, it's me who should be thanking you. Though the pain is still deep, I don't feel like I'm drowning in it anymore. Let's get out there and put a stop to Calyx. For you, for me, and for everyone who's ever believed in Oblivion.
I like that Nostalgia has rose-tinted hair. I don't think it's intentional, but... Random tangent. Random tangential thought. Shale, I appreciate you helping me through this. Not only the grief, you've Helped me see my comrades mean even more to me than I realized, which only fuels my determination. I'll be spending every waking moment working to bring Calyx to account for his crimes. I'll do my part and then you do yours. Oblivion needs you. Up. And with that, I'm going... Ooh, Oblivion added to the unknown. Let's check out this first. Anything new here? No, just something I must have known, but I just forgot was Kryle's parents were Robor and Alayla. I forgot that was their names. Anyway, before we do a Darkness in the Heart, I'm going to call it here. So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, leave a like, subscribe if you want to see more videos like this as they come out, and I'll see you next time as we continue with this Final Fantasy patch 7.3. Bye-bye.